Eighth graders, you have finally made it to your first official day with your content. So you are ready to now push on the big blue enter here button. From now on, you will always, at the beginning of every class period during asynchronous time, go to the enter here button. We have our first learning unit, which is called module number 1. We'll be in that until about November. Okay, so that takes us to our units. We are starting on unit 1. So we click there, and then whichever lesson you are on that day, that's where you go. So lesson 1 is right here. Each lesson, you'll see an overview, learning targets, and the purpose, and then the link to the actual lesson. So make sure that you read over your learning targets. I can infer the topic of this module from the resources. And then the purpose of the lesson. In this lesson, students analyze a variety of module resources to infer the topic. They also preview the module's performance task and guiding questions. Finally, students define key terms from the module and read the prologue of the module text. So this tells you everything that's going to happen in this lesson. So let's go ahead and get to the actual lesson. Now, with every single lesson, you are always going to start with this engage the learner. Again, you will not have as many different things as I do. We're going to just focus on the green, the stuff that's in green on my page right now. When you go to engage the learner, let's click and you will always find directions for what you are going to do that day. Okay, so when we opened up Engage the Learner, here are our directions. And you'll always have directions for the day for that lesson in this assignment. Complete Engage the Learner and Work Time A and for the topic before your live lesson, Then join our live session Zoom to discuss these assignments and complete our next steps. Okay, so I'm in my Engage the Learner. I'm going to read all the directions since this is your asynchronous on your own. So I have my daily learning target. I can infer the topic of this module from the resources. Discussion prompt. Respond to one of the questions below. After sharing, reply to at least 2 classmates. Okay, so I'm going to choose one of these questions, and then I'm going to reply to 2 of my classmates. I also noticed there are some vocabulary words. It looks like these are linking me if I need to know what they are. Those are just reference words. There are no directions there. So you're going to choose one of these questions and go down and click the reply button. Then you are going to type your response right into this box. Sometimes it helps me to copy the question into my reply box so that I remember what question I am answering. And remember to always write using complete sentences, all right? The purpose of learning targets is, and you can answer that. All right, so then when you're done with that, it says we also have to do work time A. So you can just click the next button at the bottom of your screen to go to work time A, or you can go back 2 modules, back to lesson 1, and click on work time A and infer the topic. All right, so here we are with infer the topic. And again, what are you going to do? You're going to read this on your own and complete the task as described. Again, I'm helping guide you through this for the first time so that everybody understands what they need to do. So I'm reading the directions. This one says, for this task, you will need an infer the topic note catcher. See how there's this little box here and it's blue when I hover over it. That means that there is a linked document. So I'm going to click on that and it's going to ask if I want to make a copy. I will say yes. Give it a moment. And then you always need to make sure you rename the document. You write your name at the top of the document. Oops. So that your teacher knows that it's yours. And when you submit it, your name is on there. Okay, but we didn't read the directions, so we need to go back. So now I have my tabs up here. I have this tab and I have my tab for Canvas. So let's see what we need to do. As you work through the task, consider the following questions. What do you think you will be learning about in this module? So I'm going to think about that. Directions. Choose a starting resource. Below, look carefully at the resource. 3, record what you notice and what you wonder. Okay, so there's a notice side and a wonder side. Choose a new source and repeat the steps above. When finished, submit your note catcher. Okay. Now see how this is really small on your screen? You can always make it larger by clicking this pop-out button. And even then, you can make it larger using that tool. So I'm going to read each resource and I can scroll up and down. I like to preview things first so I know how many things I'm looking at. Looks like there are 11 sources. So what do you think? If there are 11 sources, how many notices and wonders do you think that you'll have on this chart? If you are thinking 11, you are correct. You want to make sure that you're really looking at those things. They're very interesting topics. All right, and when you are done, you are going to, you'll have the submit button up here. You're going to submit your Infer the Topic note catcher as instructed by your teacher by uploading the Google Doc. Then, when it is time, you're going to join your teacher's live session and be ready to discuss any questions that you had about these assignments and engage in learning that requires that you've completed these assignments first. If you have questions, ask your teacher, and welcome to the first unit of your 8th grade language arts year.